All right, please welcome our very guest this afternoon, Mr. Bobby Fischer. Are you there, Mr. Bobby Fischer?
Yeah, this is he.
Is this Bobby? Bobby?
Yeah.
How are you?
Okay. Well, what is your name?
Yeah, this is Tony Falcon.
What's your first name?
Tony Falcon.
Tony Falcon, yeah. How do you do?
Broadcaster here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
All right. We have here your friend Eugene Torre, and of course Dr. Jenny Mayor and Rolando Nolte.
Yeah.
All right. What happened to you, Mr. Eugene? Bobby Fischer, right?
Yeah, I'm Bobby Fischer. Yeah, Eugene is, I think he's busy right now. He's at the Spanish embassy trying to get a visa.
Yeah. So what happened? You give me the real score there now.
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm in Japan. I'm in a prison here. I was kidnapped by the Japanese government 3 months ago. It's almost 3 months I've been here now.
Bob, you mean to say you've been kidnapped?
Kidnapped by the Japanese government, yes, sir.
I see. So you give me the details, complete details, why they kidnapped you.
Okay, well, I was leaving I was at the airport in Tokyo. This is July 13th of this year. This is 2004. I'll give today's date, by the way. I like to date my interviews. This is October 11th, 2004. So this is almost 3 months ago, July 13th, 2004. I was at the airport in Narita Airport in Tokyo, and I was in the immigration to leave Tokyo for Manila, Philippines. I had a flight, and suddenly they said they arrested me and said my passport was invalid because the USA had said it was revoked, which was a lie. They never revoked it. And then they said I was under arrest. I refused to be arrested. A whole bunch of guys, about 10, 15 guys, grabbed me, dragged me into a cell, almost killed me, injured me. And then I was just laying in the cell there in pain for hours, and then finally I got to sleep, and then the next day, the guards came back to my cell. They said, you have a guest a visitor from the U.S. Embassy. I said, I don't want to see anybody from the U.S. Embassy. They physically dragged me to see the guy from the U.S. Embassy. A guy called Peter, and then he showed me my passport. They had destroyed my passport. They had punched holes through it and stamped canceled on every page. All this completely illegally, And I've been in the prison here the last 3 months. And I was in the airport prison for about 1 month. Then they took me here to Ushiko prison. This is in Ibaraki Prefecture. And I have recently found out I am very near to a leaking nuclear power plant. It is leaking nuclear radiation right now as I'm talking to you. It's been leaking nuclear radiation for 5 years. They're trying to kill me, the U.S. and the Japanese authorities, with nuclear radiation. I've asked for a provisional release. They refuse. I've asked for to be transferred to another prison. They refuse. They want to keep me here to kill me with nuclear radiation.
So what happened? What is the real status of your case now?
Well, they have a deportation order for me to deport to the United States to murder me there.
So there is
the lawyer blocked it in the court. Yeah, what?
So there is a deportation letter already?
Yes, the Minister of Justice, Mr. Nozawa, signed it a couple months ago.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, but then my lawyer went to the court, and she blocked it, so it's in the courts now. But in the meantime, I'm here in this Ushiko prison. They call it a immigration detention center, but it's the same as a prison because you can't leave. There are guards and everything.
So, for example, they send you back in the United States. So what will you do?
Well, they want to kill me there. They have an arrest last
the United
warrant
States?
for me. It's not really a deportation. It's actually an extradition. But they can't extradite me because the alleged crime I committed is not a crime in Japan. So they cooked up this scheme to deport me to the U.S. illegally, you see, with the Japanese government. But fortunately, I got it blocked in the courts right now. But in the meantime, I'm here in this Ushiku prison, and they're trying to kill me with nuclear radiation. Even if I get out of here, it may take 5 or 10 years off my life, and I may die a horrible death from cancer. You know, I have the article here. This is an article from the Daily Yomiuri of October 2nd, 2004. And it's entitled Nuclear Firms Lack Safety Culture. And it says right here in the article, we're talking about this, says 5 years have passed since Japan's first nuclear criticality accident took place, but lessons do not seem to have been learned. In the 5-year period since the September 30th, 1999 chain reaction accident at a nuclear fuel processing plant in Tokaimura, Ibaraki Prefecture. That's where I am. I'm in Ibaraki Prefecture right now. I'm in another city called Ushiku. It's about 50 kilometers from Tokaimura, about 25 miles. A number of nuclear energy-related scandals and accidents have occurred. And then it talks about the accident that happened there 5 years ago, and 660 residents of the town there got radioactive poisoning, and several people died. But the point is, okay, that was 5 years ago. The point is, it's still leaking today. The plant's uranium conversion building where the accident occurred still continues to leak, or rather still continues to emit radioactivity, albeit only in minute quantity, not considered harmful to humans. That's the word you have to underline, not considered harmful to humans. But it is harmful to humans. Even the smallest amounts of this stuff are harmful to humans. You know, they did a survey here in Japan. They've got about 60 nuclear power plants in Japan. And they did a survey, and they found that even in a normal nuclear power plant that is not supposed to be leaking radioactivity, it's supposed to be perfectly safe, no accident, nothing, they found out that the people who live near there, the women who live near there, have a much higher rate of miscarriages than people who live far away from these power plants, you see?
So,
even when they're not leaking, they're dangerous. How much more dangerous is a nuclear power plant that's been leaking for 5 years? Now, they don't want to admit it's dangerous to people. They say here that it's not considered harmful to humans. If they admit it's harmful, they're going to have everybody leave the town, you see? And that'll look very bad for Japan and for the nuclear industry. There'd be an outcry in Japan. People would demand they close every nuclear power plant in the country, you see?
but
So they're lying that it's not harmful to human beings when it is harmful to human beings. That's good.
Bob, did you report this to the Japanese government?
Yes, I
About
have.
this leaking?
After I read this article, I asked them a few days ago to transfer me to another prison. And they haven't replied. We've asked about 2 weeks ago for provisional release again. That's the Japanese equivalent of bail. They already turned it down twice, but we asked again 2 weeks ago, and they haven't replied to that either. So I've asked for two things. I've asked for a provisional release. Well, I should just get released, period, you know, but I mean, I'm humoring these idiots, saying, give me a provisional release, you know, which is their equivalent of bail, or transfer me to another prison, another detention center. So far, they haven't replied to either, you know.
All right, Dr. Mayor will ask a question. Dr. Jenny Mayor, okay, do you have any question?
Bobby, good afternoon.
Yeah, I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, this is Dr. Jenny Mayor. All right, Jerry, go ahead.
Bobby, nice to hear again from you.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine, my friend.
Okay.
This time,
Could you talk a little, could you get closer to the mic? I can really hardly hear you, Doc.
Yeah, this time the American and the Japanese is trying to harm you in a, that's a very dangerous thing.
Yes, it's very vicious,
Yeah.
very, very vicious. This whole thing, I'm convinced now, is a conspiracy from the beginning to either kill me in the U.S., or else if the Japanese don't want to cooperate with that for public relations reasons on their part, you see, doesn't look good for the Japanese government to cooperate with them to send me to my death in America, then just to quietly poison me to death here in Japan with radioactivity. You understand?
Yeah, I know that.
That's the game, as I see it.
Yeah, it may cause harmful, like cancer,
Yeah, this causes cancer, it causes impotency, it causes every kind of illness you can think of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why don't you go to the United Nations or to Amnesty International or whatever big names that can help you?
Yeah, well, Amnesty International is controlled by the Jews, Doc Mayor. That's a phony baloney organization.
Yeah.
You know? And so is the United Nations controlled by the Jews, by the way. And they call it, what do they call it? The UN of the USA, right?
Yeah.
All right. Another question by Mr. Rolando Nolte.
Yeah, hi. How you doing, Rolando?
Hello, Bobby. How are you?
Okay.
So what?
Okay, and that's the terrible thing about nuclear radiation, Rolando.
Yeah.
You don't feel it, you don't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't hear it, nothing. You can't see it, but it kills you.
Yeah.
That's the terrible thing about nuclear power, and nuclear bomb, everything nuclear is just evil, you know?
Yeah. So how your lawyers doing there?
Huh?
Your lawyers?
Well, I'm telling everybody. I told my friend Miyoko, my lawyers, get me out of here.
Yeah.
They say, don't rock the boat. We're trying. Don't offend the Japanese. They're very sensitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The authorities don't offend anybody. You're gonna make it harder for yourself. But my experience is you've got to tell it like it is. You cannot. No. You gotta. I cannot be quiet about this.
Yeah, that's a big threat, no? That's the plants were aiming.
Yeah, and radioactivity. There's just no way to recover from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no cure for this kind of thing. The only cure, so to speak, is to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody gets better once they get enough nuclear radiation in their body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're Bobby Fischer or Joe Blow. This stuff kills,
All right, Bob, this is Tony Falcon again. What about this American? What they were doing to you right now?
America?
Yeah.
Well, America is controlled by the dirty Jews. I've said this over and over again for years, And they have robbed an entire room full of my belongings. United States government, Bob Ellsworth, and Beacons in late 1998 or early 1999 robbed an entire room full of my belongings at Beacons Moving and Storage Company in Pasadena, California. And this stuff is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. It's worth a vast fortune. They robbed hundreds of boxes of my stuff. They robbed my safes. They robbed my file cabinets. They robbed tons of freestanding bags. They robbed statues, all my files, all my correspondence, all my contracts, all my chess sets, all my trophies, all my gifts. There's just a ton of stuff that I saved up for 30 or 40 years. They just robbed it all. With the blessings of the filthy Jew-controlled U.S. government, This is the biggest robbery, or one of the biggest robberies in the history of the United States of America. And the goddamn Jew-controlled press all over the world is blacking it out.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Mayo, do you have any question more?
We go to other things, Ravi, no?
Okay. Yeah, all these things are tied together, you know.
Yeah.
They want to kill me with radioactivity, so I won't be able to play Fischer random chess. So I won't be able to expose the Jews. You understand?
Yeah.
So I won't be able to expose Beachen's robbery, and I won't be able to expose all the other crimes the Jews and the U.S. government have committed against me. You understand?
Yeah.
All this is tied together. You see, I beat the Jew Arthur Biscayr. He's a grandmaster. You heard of him? Arthur Biscayr?
Yeah.
He's a grandmaster. He's one of the Jews' best players.
Yeah.
I beat him 13 games in a row.
13-0.
No, not 13-0. The first game we played, I think I was about 12 or 13. I lost. Second game we played was a draw.
Yeah.
And after that, I beat him the next game, 13 games, every single game, starting in about 1957, ending in about 1970. But it didn't really end in 1970, because I beat him in 1970, the 13th game, and that's the last game we played, so the streak is still going, you understand?
Yeah.
It wasn't broken. It was never broken. I beat him 13 in a row. You see, and the Jews cannot take it. Not only that, I beat the Jew Mark Taimanov in a match 6-0.
Yeah,
I beat him, I think, a total of 7 games in a row altogether. And, many similar exploits against the Jews and non-Jews. The Jews just can't take it, you understand?
Yeah.
They want to be considered the smartest people in the world, the brainiest people, geniuses. How is it possible? I beat the U.S. champion. The first game I beat this guy in 1957, he was U.S. champion. And I've beaten him since then. I beat him a total of 13 in a row, no draws in between. And every game was real. Nothing was prearranged. There's never been such a record in the history of chess. And the Jews just can't stand it. It's eating them, you know?
That's right.
I have a recent article here. For years, the dirty Jews have been referring to me as the former world champion, right? Right? Hello?
All right, good.
They refer to me as the former world champion constantly. But they don't get a kick out of that anymore, you see? So now the latest thing they've come up with is they're calling me former grandmaster. Can you imagine that?
There's such thing like that?
Huh?
You become a grandmaster.
They say I'm a former grandmaster. I'm not a grandmaster anymore. This is the latest, yeah.
Ridiculous.
The dirty Jews stay up nights thinking of new ways to insult me. I have the story right here in front of me. Let's see. Here it says, Fischer wins deportation delay. This is from the Asahi Shinbun of September 9th, 2004. It says, former chess grandmaster Bobby Fischer stayed one move ahead of U.S. authorities on Wednesday when he won a delay in efforts to deport him from Japan. So now I'm former chess grandmaster, according to the Jews, you see? Which, of course, is absurd because a grandmaster title is for life. Have you ever heard of anybody being called a former grandmaster before?
Not yet.
Yeah, they're calling me former grandmaster now.
Bobby, this is Dr. Mayor again. If former world champion Karpov wants
He's not the former world champion. He was never champion. He's a
You meant to say you never a champion,
His real name is Weinstein. You know that, don't you?
Weinstein. No, Karpov. He wants to...
Oh, you got Karpov. I think you meant Kasparov. Okay, yeah, he's also a crook, Karpov. Okay, guys.
He wants a match with you.
He's not a world champion either. You know his match with Korchnoi and Baguio was prearranged, don't you?
Prearranged?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, in the Philippines?
In the Philippines, that match that he played on Baguio in 1978, yes. That was completely prearranged, move by move, every game. Of course, everybody knows that. You ask Campomanes, pin him down, tape record his answer, and you will see Campomanes, when he says it's not prearranged, is lying. You understand? Campomanes knows very well that match was prearranged move by move. All that stuff with the psychologists and all of the protests and all of it was all just a theater, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Kasparov? You want to have a match with you?
Well, I don't play chess anymore. This is Dr. Mayor?
Yeah, this is Dr. Mayor.
You know, I play Fischer random.
Yeah, that's nice.
I've outgrown chess.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
a joke now.
How's your Fischer random now on your chess clock?
Well, Fischer random is doing fine, except, you know, the Jews are, like, trying to prevent it from growing, you know, and they want to kill me now, so I cannot play it, of course. But, and the clock also is nearing completion, finally, yes. But again, the Jews want to stop that too, which is just a part of their calculations with this kidnapping, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's terrible.
it's all a huge conspiracy of the Jews. The Jews control the United States, and the United States controls Japan, you see?
All right, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to know this matter now with regards to this idea. Who these people, idea that they put you in jail? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, who put me in jail?
Yeah.
You mean, well, the Japanese immigrants?
No, I mean, is there any, country want to put you in jail now?
Yeah,
Yes.
the U.S., of course.
Ah,
The
you-
U.S. has an arrest warrant.
You need to say the U.S. government.
Huh?
The U.S. government.
Yes, they have an arrest warrant for me since December 15th, 1992. A federal arrest warrant they put out. They have an indictment against me and a federal arrest warrant for playing a match against Boris Spassky in Yugoslavia in the summer, fall of 1992.
I see.
See, so and they want to put me in prison for 10 years for that. The problem is, it's not a deportable crime in other countries, you see. I played the match in Yugoslavia in 1992, right?
Okay.
And then, a couple of months afterwards, the United States indicted me, but I was out of the country when they indicted me, you see? So they couldn't get their hands on me, right? But, and the problem was, they couldn't extradite me back to the United States, because nobody else considers playing chess, what I did to be a crime, you see? In other words, to be a crime, I think it has to be a crime in both countries, generally, you see? It cannot just be a crime in the United States. It has to be a crime in the country you're in also for them to cooperate with the United States to send you back to the United States, you understand?
All right.
But it's not this is nonsense, playing chess. How is that a crime, right? So it's total rubbish, and also it's not a law passed by Congress that playing chess in Yugoslavia is a crime. It was just an executive order signed by then President Bush Sr. You see? So it never went through Congress. It's actually illegal. You see, these executive orders. In other words, the president is trying to make laws just by signing a document that has not passed the Congress. You see, that's not illegal according to the Constitution. This is like a vendetta also of his father. You see, the Bush Jr., right? Just like he has a vendetta against Saddam Hussein, right? For his father, remember? His father, I guess, regretted he didn't go all the way to Baghdad to get Saddam Hussein in, 91. So his son did it 10 years later, right?
Yeah.
So, or 11 years later. So now they do the same thing to me, you see?
Yeah.
You know? It's all totally illegal, totally criminal. You know? Did you hear about Cat Stevens the other day?
Yeah, Cat Stevens.
Yeah, he got deported from the U.S. He got sent back to England.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very vicious, you know. But he's lucky, Cat Stevens. They didn't put him in
prison.
In prison because the initial reports were saying that he had given money to charities that the U.S. had designated to be terrorist organizations, you know, like Hamas or whatever, you know?
Yeah, because he's already a Muslim convert, you know.
Yeah, he's a Muslim also, I don't know if you read the articles about it, but it's very interesting how the press lied about Cat Stevens. They were saying, he's talking about his hits, right? His hit songs, and they gave some hit songs I never heard.
Yeah.
But they didn't give his real hits, like Matthew and Sons, and they didn't give Morning Has Broken,
yeah,
and they didn't give Peace Train.
Yeah.
All of those three songs were songs of very high moral content, right?
Yeah.
And Morning Has Broken was actually from a Christian background, and he's not a hate-filled person, basically. But of course, there's nothing wrong with hating the United States, you know. The United States is so goddamn evil, you know.
Yeah.
All right, Bob.
Yeah.
I will give you the last message to the world and to the Filipino people. All right, it's your turn, all right?
Oh, all right. You know this article. I want to go back just for a minute to an article in this was in Time magazine of August 30th, 2004. You remember that article?
Yes.
Now,
I have here, yeah.
Yeah, the Jews, every time they write about me, they are trying to knock my masculinity, you know? You see?
Yeah, yes.
And Bobby Ang, who's a CIA rat, also tried to knock my masculinity. Let me just read what they said here in this Time magazine, okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To the average, this is an article by Jim Frederick, Tokyo. Yeah. This is called King's Gambit. The article is called King's Gambit, okay? Yeah. To the average lonely heart, Bobby Fischer, erstwhile chess champion, virulent anti-Semite, and fugitive from the U.S. justice system, might not sound like Mr. Right. But to hear Miyoko Watai tell it, he's a dreamboat. Okay, now, let me just say a few things about this, okay?
All right, good.
First of all, I want to tell this guy who wrote the article, Mr. Jim Fredericks, I wear size 47 shoe, 47 wide shoe in the German size. That's 14 in American size, 14 wide. Now, did you see that movie with Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant a couple of years ago? Huh?
Title of the movie.
I forget the name of the movie. Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant. It was made over in England. I forget a certain part of town, something park. Anyway, the point was there's a scene, there's like a bedroom scene, and Julia Roberts is asking about shoe size, you know?
Shoe size.
Yeah. And what that means. Is it really true that shoe size and the size of your you-know-what have a relationship, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Right, okay?
Okay.
Just keep that in mind. I wear size 14 wide shoe, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, just keep that in mind when you say I'm not a dreamboat or I'm Mr. Right. Let me just tell you a little anecdote. This is an absolutely true story. I don't make things up. I'm not a goddamn liar like the Jews, okay? I don't need to make things up, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just tell this anecdote. This has happened about 2 years ago. I was with Miyoko, and we went to a mineral bath town, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, now, normally we go to the mineral bath in the hotel, because we go to, first-class hotels, and they have very beautiful mineral baths in the hotel itself. But occasionally, just for variety, we'll go to the public bath in the town, you see?
Yes.
Because it's bigger and sometimes they have more facilities. And anyway, the men's section and the women's sections are segregated, right?
Right.
You have the men's mineral bath section and the women's mineral bath section. Okay. So Miyoko went into her woman's section, right? And I went into my man's section, right?
Right.
Now when you go in there, you start naked, right?
Right.
No loincloth, no nothing, right? Okay.
Okay.
So I'm in the men's room, and then Miyoko goes to the ladies, the women's. I'm in the men's section of the mineral bath, and Miyoko's in the women's section, right? Now she's real fast. She usually comes out in about half an hour, 40 minutes. See?
Yes.
But I usually dilly-dally in there. I'm usually in about an hour and a half or so, right?
Okay.
She comes out of the mineral bath in about 40 minutes, and then she goes to like a big lounge section, you know, where they have a TV and you can get snacks. You can lay on the floor. You can sit in these sofas that will vibrate your body and all kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
So she's sitting out there waiting for me while I'm in the bath, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she starts to listen to these two, you know, they don't know she's with me or anything, of course, right? See? She's Japanese, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's these two old Japanese geezers are sitting there talking to each other. And they say, hey, did you see that guy in the mineral bath? Did you see the size of his dick and his nuts? He said, oh my God, that guy's really hung. And they're going on talking about this guy for like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And Miyoko is suspecting who they're talking about. She's very embarrassed, you know? She's sitting,
So you are that guy,
and
yeah?
then I come out, and the two old geezers say, hey, that's him right now. some guys have all the luck, you know?
What's that?
This is the absolute truth story, you know?
Yeah.
I like to tell these personal stories, but I have to defend myself
Yeah.
from this kind of bullshit that the Jews are putting out, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So this absolutely true story, and that ties in with this nuclear radiation here.
Uh-huh.
This can affect your potency, you know?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So they want to make me impotent, you know? Also, because Jews are just jealous.
Yeah.
They are jealous of me in every way.
Yeah, yeah.
They're jealous of my talent, they're jealous of my looks, they're jealous of my potency, they're jealous of my chest. They're just jealous bastards. And I was reading an interview a couple of years ago in a newspaper. These were astrophysicists, you know?
Yeah.
And they were talking about what is the strongest force in the universe, right?
Right.
And one of the astrophysicists says, I'll give you a hint. He says, it's not gravity. He says, well, what is it? It's jealousy.
Jealousy.
You know?
Okay, Mr. Bob.
Okay.
All right, last message. Another message, last message. Do you have any appeal to
They are ugly, they are jealous. I was over in Israel. I went to a change room a few times. I saw their penises. They are pitiful, they are small, they are just dry, you know, just all of them circumcised, are just very sad. I understand they're jealous, but I didn't circumcise them, I didn't mutilate them. Why do they blame me? They're doing this to each other. And also, you know, there's a lot of talk now about the Catholic priests, how they're abusing their parishioners, right? They're being pedophiles and all this, right?
Right.
I have never heard of a Catholic priest sexually mutilating a little baby boy. Have you? That's only the Jews do that. The Jew rabbis do that. So don't blame the Jew rabbis are 100 times worse than the pedophile Catholic priest. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your advice to the Filipino chess players?
Filipino, my advice is to give up chess and take up Fischer random. Yeah.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah.
All right, what can you say now, being the world champion? Last parking message.
Well, I hope to get out of here, you know, alive and you know, and still in good physical condition before this radiation poisoning takes its hold on me, you know. And I want to play Fischer random, and I want to complete my clock, my high-tech dream chess clock, and play with it. I still have a lot of ambitions on and off the chessboard. And that's it, basically. If I can get out of here, I really would like people... You have to make noise. You have to protest this in front of the U.S. Embassy, in front of the Japanese Embassy. You have to send letters. You have to do what you can do to get me out of here. This is an outrage. This is absolutely vicious, you know?
Yeah.
And I noticed that bastard Kasparov, he hasn't said a word, to get me out of here, right? He's showing what a snake he is, no? Right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think Harpo has also said a word so far as I know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Bobby.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for giving me the time and on your...
Yeah, anytime. You're welcome.
Everybody, all my friends there in the Philippines again, okay?
All right. Thank you very much
Yeah, you're
for giving
welcome.
me this time.
Huh?
For giving me this time. Okay.
You're welcome, okay.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bobby.
You're
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you very much.
Welcome, you're welcome. Bye.